As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.
Male equivalent to makeup and plastic surgery.
That's what I'm saying. A beard.
You think growing facial hair is the same?
I think you having a beard is absolutely like.
That's the same as makeup.
Wait, but I don't want to hear the whataboutism. Why don't you contend with my argument?
What are you asking?
That you guys are just hopelessly dependent on your paint. That you guys at no other point in human history have women been undergoing expensive, dangerous, and unnecessary surgical procedures. Every time you go under anesthesia, there's a risk of something, especially like, look, I don't know if there's any BBLs at the table. BBL is like a notoriously dangerous procedure. And these women are, for the sake of vanity, for the pursuit of beauty, a lot of them, it's not good for your body. Anytime you go under anesthesia, it's not good. It's never good. There's women who die from these things, or they face various complications. Yeah. I know it's not the case. To be charitable, I know most people probably have like breast implants, and there's minor or no complications. But there's enough where I'm like, that's crazy. And then you grow fucking. Don't you grow mold on that shit? I've heard some crazy stories. The breast implants, they leak in titties. The titties are leaking, bro.
It's gonna happen.
The titties are leaking. The plastic is leaking out. I'm just saying, why can't you got an A cup? Rock that shit. Do some squats, and that's another
Okay.
That's how you know the cosmetic surgery industry has such a strong hold on young women. After all the horror stories and all the risks, they still make excuses to go ahead and do it anyways.
When it comes to makeup, I feel like makeup has made a huge shift. Like girls are actually going more natural, if anything. I feel like there's more natural brands out now. Like that, it's like barely anything, like the liquid blush and the liquid whatever.
And
you know what I'm
how
talking
does it
You girls know
feel?
what I'm talking about.
Hold on.
Yes.
And I'm going to make an
that's true.
environmental argument. You guys are getting your there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of these massive transport ships coming from fucking China and India and all these fucking countries, and they're crossing the Pacific or whatever fucking route they take, and they're dumping that bunker fuel, son. Dumping the bunker fuel. You know how fucking bad bunker fuel is? Do you even know what bunker fuel is? You know what bunker fuel? Bunker fuel, terrible. One of the worst. Very bad. Bunker fuel, very bad. Trust me. They're dumping this shit, and these shipping boats.
Oh my god.
They're all just full of your Sephora bullshit and your fucking whatever, your fucking fake nails. They're just those big giant shipping containers. They're just full of claws. The nail claws. They're full of fake lashes. They're transport. Imagine that shit, bro. Imagine that shit. We used to transport fucking tea and shit and spices. Now they're transporting. Now they're fucking transporting fucking fake lashes and hair extensions from fucking China. These poor little Chinese infants, fucking 3 years old. They're in the mines. They're in the mines, mining the fucking. They're mining. They're mining. I'm telling you, they're mining. What's it called? They're mining the ingredients in your makeup, son. And they're shipping that. They're dumping bunker fuel, son. Burning bunker fuel. You know about bunker fuel? Let me tell you about bunker fuel.
I don't want to know about bunker fuel.
Right, you don't even know.
I don't know.
You don't even know.
I don't know
the cost.
I don't of my makeup.
Of your makeup.
It's ruining the bunker
society.
fuel, the oceans,
it's ruining the
everything.
Fucking dolphins and shit. You're killing dolphins every time you put on some blush.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Wing eyeliner is killing the dolphins.
Every time you put on a little mascara, a little baby kid in China is like, oh, the fucking.
Do you have an iPhone?
See, that's what I'm saying. You're wearing. What about the clothes you're wearing? That's imported by bunker fuel, right?
That's why I'm not an environmentalist.
Exactly. Well, you sound like one. Do you date women that don't wear fake nails or eyelashes or anything? They're bare.
Strong preference.
So they're bare.
Do you date like Amish girls?
And that's okay.
Hell yeah, sign me up, bro.
Amish beauty.
I'm moving to Pennsylvania.
Amish,
Send me to Pennsylvania.
I feel like it goes back again to like why are the women wearing makeup?
Because society has presented to you before you could even understand anything. From when you were little fucking infants and children, they've been presenting to you a Disney-fied image on every single piece of media that you've consumed before you can even understand what the word media is.
What is he doing? He's beginning to believe.
For
You've
whose
consumed-
benefit?
For corporations, probably. I don't know.
No,
You're
but
gonna say men?
How are
You're
they?
gonna say
How
men?
are
So much
yes,
sass in your face.
yes. That's why the women had those
Wait,
corsets
so women
that
wear
were
makeup
like.
for men? Because
Wait a minute. I think I sense a contradiction. Usually they come on the show and say they wear makeup for themselves. Now she's saying they wear makeup for men? Interesting.
I hear women don't wear makeup for
It's
men.
And
for
now-
it depends on
For
the
now.
person.
Now,
But I'm saying, I mean, it all started. First we had the corsets squeezing our organs together to look
case-by-case
Bro,
smaller.
no, women do
and
their
then we
beauty
had-
shit for them. Women
No,
do
like,
the
if
beauty.
it was an all-female society, we would not be in
if it
competition
was
with
up
each
to
other.
men, if it was up to most men, you ask most men, we don't like all the caked on makeup. We don't care. Most men don't care about your stupid nails. Most men don't care about the lashes. They don't care about your hair extensions.
But when you go online and you see the girls who end up going barefaced on TikTok or show their acne or whatever, you'll see the comments, "Oh, put makeup on." It's always
Because-
for
never
the
win.
male
look, I'll explain it like
satisfaction.
this.
Women never win.
I'll explain it like
Yeah,
this.
there's no winning.
If
I agree.
these sports leagues or whatever sporting you're into, if they allow steroids, all of the athletes now have a new metric by which they have to be at. So if you have all the athletes in a given field, if they're taking steroids, all the other athletes are going to take steroids too. If magically all women stopped doing plastic surgery, stopped wearing makeup, it would just lower the bar. It would completely lower it.
See, you're
Brian does have a point. Because if you do get rid of the makeup, it does level the playing field and lessens the pressure for you to rely on the steroid, also known as makeup.
as like this thing that's like controlling all the like. Why can't makeup just be a fun thing? Like for me, I don't. Most of the time, I don't wear makeup. I enjoy it for myself.
Can I ask
like,
you a question?
You can ask me a
If you-
question.
You say it's fun. If
It's
you
absolutely-
go out, do you feel less comfortable if you're not wearing any makeup?
It depends on where I am. So if I'm like going to the grocery store, I don't care what I look like. If I'm going in a place where a lot of my friends, peers, like it's not about, this is the way I present myself. I'm very glittery and sparkly and my makeup's always crazy. It's because that's the way I like to look. But I don't feel uncomfortable. Like whenever you pull out the little makeup wipes, like I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? Because I'm comfortable as my natural self. But I think your judgment on makeup is this broad judgment about the what am I doing? What am I ruining?
Bunker fuel.
The bunker fuel.
Don't forget the bunker
That's
fuel.
very like this is my job. I do this as I do makeup as a job. It's something I enjoy. It's my not everyday life. Like my room is filled with it. Like it's something that brings me joy. Just like a nerd who likes a book. Like I don't judge that. So why do you judge? Just because my makeup, it is a bigger thing, right? How makeup is this thing that it's like covering these insecurities, and yeah, it is parallel to that, but it also is parallel to the thing. It's something that someone enjoys, and we should understand that as well.
Yeah, I recognize that women will put on makeup for I suppose, I mean, I wouldn't understand it personally, but I'll take their word for it that they enjoy perhaps the creative process of doing it. But so
See, that's
See, I
can see that's about your bunker fuel.
Yeah.
So
I go
You know what I
without
mean? It's
makeup
like-
a lot because I'm comfortable without, but it took like 2 rounds of Accutane to get where I am. However, like again, we wouldn't make as much money if we go barefaced, right? Because the men are
sure.
not attracted to the women who are
I
all
don't
natural.
really
Dispute
agree
that.
with that.
I hate doing my makeup, but I definitely feel comfortable in makeup.
Look,
like I'll wear that shit every day.
I don't dispute that makeup makes women can make them more attractive. But I mean, as far as so from the dating lens, what I have against it, I have an issue with it more like on a societal level, but on an individualistic level, there's a dating component to it. So the dating component is you're misrepresenting how you actually look. So you are augmenting your physical appearance. That's not how attractive you actually are.
I understand that in a way, but I feel like if we're going on a date, I send you only photos of that, and they don't know exactly what I look like, then that's one thing. But I mean, if they see me in both ways, like why is that a problem? That when I have makeup on, obviously I'm going to look different. I don't have a freaking wing eyeliner and sparkles on my eye. I do this to look different, but I'm also okay with the way I look without it.
But the problem is, I don't know what you really look like. I need to see what I'm getting myself into.
And I feel like you should be okay with us being okay with having it on. Like, I don't know why it has to be an argument. Like, makeup doesn't have to be an argument because it just doesn't. I feel.
Look at him like calculating in his brain. He's like, no.
There's so many things in the world to like be upset about. And like a girl wearing makeup, it's like if we're faking it, he never saw what she looked like without makeup. She goes to sleep with makeup. She wakes up and does it before. Like, that's crazy. But if she's just wearing it to dinner and going on a date, and that's okay.
And talking about the bunker fuel when literally all the burgers cost.
Wait, can you move your microphone over this way a little bit? But yeah, I mean, look, the thing is though, again, from the dating perspective, I think it manipulates at this instinctual subconscious level. So even if the guy knows that she's wearing makeup, it still is going to have the intended effect of him assessing her as more attractive than she actually or otherwise is. And even if we know you're wearing makeup, and if we're experts on makeup, and we know that you're wearing foundation and blush and mascara and eyeliner and whatever it is, it still has this subconscious manipulation. And the other component is that, let's say it's our first time seeing you and we don't know what you look like without makeup. Even if we acknowledge you're wearing makeup and we know that you might not look like that, we don't necessarily know, especially if you're wearing like a little eyeliner. Well, even just eyeliner and mascara can do a lot of heavy lifting for a woman. But if we're talking foundation, where you're putting it, the whole face essentially is in makeup, we don't know the extent of the difference. So she could be 1 point down, or she could be 4 points down.
And I still don't understand your argument. You're saying 4 points, but he does know if she's 4 points or 5 points. Like if he's dating her, like I don't really understand what you're trying to argue. Like, what's the problem? I'm just confused, to be honest. Like,
well, I mean, if he's dating her and then but let me ask you this. What if men lied about their career and then they baited a woman into a relationship and now she's invested?
Okay.
And then now 3 months after she's already fucked him and she's invested in the relationship, there is he reveals, BTW, I'm actually not an attorney. I work at McDonald's, but now we're already here.
Can I make a comment on that real quick?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to forget what I'm going to say, but yeah.
Sorry, this one's really quick. That actually affects people's relationships, whereas makeup doesn't affect the relationship at all.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. So you're saying
I think
makeup.
it does.
Okay, wait, hang on. So the man lies about the job, says he's an attorney, and then he works at McDonald's. Okay, that affects our day-to-day life. That affects if I can marry this man, because I'm not a person, like, I don't care. We just need to make enough that we can be living in California and all that stuff. I don't need to date someone who makes $500,000 a year. But the makeup thing, you meet me the first day, by the week you should know what I look like without makeup or not.
Not
like
necessarily.
That's what I'm saying. So why are we even you shouldn't be dating someone that isn't going to like show you their true self. Like they should send you a photo or something in the beginning. Like, why are you going to keep talking to someone if they haven't shown? Like, that's kind of weird to not send a photo how you look.
This scenario is very common for most men in today's dating scene. You meet a girl for the first time, she's wearing makeup. You talk to her for about a month, you see her once a week, and every time you see her, she's wearing makeup. You can go a long time talking to a girl without actually seeing what she really looks like. And that's a problem.
Saying,
yeah, okay, fine.
Like the job thing and that is so separate. Like,
but also, aren't we dating because we like the personality? So if you're looking for somebody just because they are attractive or not, you don't really look for the personality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm really will date anyone. I tell my friends this, like, I don't care if you're missing an arm, if you're whatever, I don't care. Whatever you look, that's genuine. I'm not kidding. As long as I know how to take care of you, because I take care of my mom, and that might sound rude, but I've done that my entire life, be a caregiver. So that's the only thing. I won't be a caregiver for my partner. But I don't care what you physically look like. I mean, as a fat person, I don't think I should judge other people. But also, like, why is it such a big deal? I care about what's in here, how they treat me, how they treat others.
Can I change the hypothetical? So let's do a hypothetical where a woman has her face totally reconstructed.
Okay.
So maybe she was upset because she had a nose that was really big.
Yeah.
Comes from a different culture where that's very common. She gets her lips, her cheekbones, her nose done. Man is not aware that her face is totally reconstructed. They have a child, and the child takes on all the all the woman's genetic characteristics, and he had no idea.
Why? That's go ahead.
May I say a story? There's
a story of that.
That's my point. This is a real hypothetical.
I think it's a Chinese couple because the
Yeah.
lady had the whole like surgery, everything is done, and when they had kids, he kind of like I think divorced her and stuff.
But that's like even.
Man, that would drive me crazy. Imagine reproducing with a pretty girl and then finding out she's really just an ugly girl with surgery.
Oh my God.
And now your kids are ugly? Man, that's like borderline fraud.
Crazy. Okay, I feel like she should disclose that just as like her story of date. Like when you're dating someone, you're in this real relationship, you're gonna have kids with someone, they should know everything about you. I don't think that should be a secret. But also to say, once I have a child and the child has a weird nose and this, you should love their child no matter what it looks like. And I'm saying like even then it shouldn't even be a problem. But
the conversation was deception.
Yeah, that's not okay. Like I think deception in that way is not okay either. When I'm dating someone and because I do present myself like this every day, they instantly know what I look like without makeup because I think that you should do. I'm not looking like this all the time,
but
you know?
I think we're moving away. Like, okay, so we can get into these scenarios. Well, okay, further on into a relationship, there will be some degree of disclosure as to what you actually look like, whether that's you saying, hey, I've had these surgical procedures, or you just take off your makeup or whatever. But from the initial get-go, like for example, my experience when I was on dating apps, I'm not anymore, is very often it would be the case that a woman would not post a singular photo without a filter or without makeup. Now, there are some women who they'll put like one like makeup-less photo on, but the majority of the time, and if you look at most women's Instagrams, almost universally, they're not posting a bunch of like no makeup photos on there. They're wearing full face of makeup in most or all of their photos. The deception happens very early and initially. So for example, if you're at a club or, you know, whatever the context is that you're meeting, yeah, you guys are wearing full faces of makeup. But even on a dating app or whatever the context that you're meeting, I do think there is a degree of deception when it comes to makeup usage and cosmetics and plastic surgery.
I think a majority of women wouldn't want to wear makeup anymore, but just like you were saying, oh, well, it takes women to not do plastic surgery, but also takes men to say, hey, we're going to accept you without makeup and without plastic surgery.
We do.
They don't.
We literally do. Look,
you do.
No,
but you're not seeing the men weird.
When men are
in the world.
When men are look, wearing makeup and getting these procedures does confer. I'm not going to deny that it doesn't confer you benefits in terms of attracting men. Like it does, right? You are going to be appraised as more attractive when you're wearing makeup. Me personally, like I prefer women without makeup. But like I can get bamboozled too. I get bamboozled. The point I'm trying to make here is that actually I already lost my train of thought. So that was great.
Wait, I actually have a question.
Yeah.
So in that kind of, I guess, aspect of deceiving somebody or something, at what point do you think like somebody should disclose something? Because I guess not cosmetically makeup wise or changing my body, but I will say like I don't go like posting or publicly emphasizing that I have stretch marks or loose skin from having a child. So is that something that like as a woman that has had a baby that I should publicize just like right?
Things like stretch marks, cellulite, scars, those are things that you don't have to initially disclose to a man because over time we're going to discover those things anyways. But when you're not showing us your real face or never told us about the BBL or the facelift or whatever procedure, that's when it becomes a problem. Those are things that you should disclose within the first month if you're planning to take things seriously.
Right off the bat, because well, one, it is an insecurity. Like that's a vulnerable piece of me. And of course, looking at someone that, you know, has an amazing body that I might not ever fully have, like being scared to just upfront and say that to a guy because how a guy will perceive that and look at it because of how like society has framed how women should look. So like, is that something that I should like upfront be very public about?
I don't think you would have to like post photos of that. I mean, it's, I would also say, you know, you said you're, I mean, I don't know if we really got a clear answer on if you're like 100% committed to waiting until marriage. I'd say in your case, there's probably other factors at play here.
Maybe like a bathing suit.
I think men are gonna, if you tell men that you've had a child, they're probably gonna make some assumptions that like you might have some like loose skin around your belly area and maybe you have some stretch marks. If men know about, you know, what happens when women have pregnancy and give birth or whatever. But I mean, my conversation is specifically about makeup and plastic surgery. I think my position is fairly, you can make some arguments when it comes to makeup. My argument is far stronger though as it relates to plastic surgery.
Can I say something about plastic surgery?
What's up?
Specifically about my boobs. I had a really weird thing happen to me yesterday. I like never go out by myself because I'm just scared of people like coming up to me. But yesterday I had to go to the mall to like get white lingerie for this like white lingerie party last night.
I'm gonna come. Oh.
And so I went to the mall by myself and
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
No, I promise you, this is crazy. So I was like, just walking around and I saw this like white dude. He kept following me everywhere I go. And like every time I would look at him, he would just be like staring at me. And I was like, maybe like he knows me like from the internet, possibly. And then I like went into Macy's.
What are you looking at?
I don't know.
Just speak, Lear. Look.
She's staring at herself talking, and she can't stay focused.
Just
Okay,
speak
I'll
straight.
look at you.
Speak straight into the mic. Go ahead.
So I was like in Macy's looking at white lingerie, and he finally comes up to me and he's like, "Are you Chloe Yummy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like nice to meet you. I'm always like super nice to my fans, like when I see them in person, of course." And he's like, "Are your tits real?"
Serious?
And I'm like, I was like a little scared, and I like looked down and he was like touching his dick and he had like this huge ass boner.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
And I was like, "Sir."
Bro, that's a crime. You should have gone to the police. Why are you telling me? You should have told this shit to the police.
The type of dudes that subscribe to this chick and give her money are super simps and need to reevaluate their manhood immediately.
I was really scared and I started like just like running away after that. But that was like honestly the weirdest encounter I ever had.
You should
with
have
a
kicked
fan.
him in the dick.
It was
You should have
so weird.
Fucking karate kicked that motherfucker.
And he was like a young guy. Like I thought he would be kind of normal. Like when he came up to me, I'm like, "Oh, he's like chill or whatever," but he was not.
Wow, thank you for sharing.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
That's like a sex crime, bro. You shit.
I feel that makeup is different from plastic surgery. Is that like makeup is not permanent. Makeup comes off, and plastic surgery is permanent. So like, if someone has an ugly nose and they make like they do plastic surgery and now they have a good nose, like beautiful nose, then it's not deceptive. You know, like this is something that will stick with them for life. You know, like they're not misrepresenting who they are.
In a way, it is deceptive, unintentionally. Because when a man is looking to reproduce with a good-looking woman, he's banking on high replication value. The kids should look good. And when they don't, it's a letdown.
Well, okay, why are people attracted to, like, what is the basis of attraction?
Genetics.
For men or for women?
No, what is like the evolutionary reason for men finding women attractive and women finding men attractive?
I think
what is the like
reproduction?
Reproduction, right? So Patrick raised a good argument. It's like, okay, well, what about one of the reasons that we find that we're I mean, there's a bunch of reasons, but one of the reasons we want to be with somebody who is attractive is because that will confer benefits to our future children, because the reality is it's way easier to move through life. Pretty privilege is a thing. So if your children are attractive, they're going to have an easier time in life. They're going to perhaps do better from a career perspective. They're going to have an easier time finding a partner. We all want to set our children up for the best life possible. And if we can mate and match with somebody who's attractive, that's going to confer privilege to our children.
My mom did that. She's like a pretty well-known model, and she was working with elite management, and like she wanted to have a baby, and she like seeked out like genetics of like another male model to have me.
What went wrong?
Well, bop, boom, pow.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding?
What?
Well,
No.
I was a child model in New York and stuff, but I don't know. I just became an OnlyFans girl.
It's okay.
Really sad.
So that was done through in vitro fertilization?
Yeah, my mom talks about how she wouldn't have had a child with him if she didn't think he had good genetics, because she really cares
Wait, were they
about
dating?
looks a lot.
Right. He was a sperm donor or they dated?
No, they were dating.
It sounded
okay.
like it was
So
like a donor.
It
No, now
was.
they're married.
Okay, so she seeked out a man just for the purpose of having a baby and they
Yeah.
actually had coitus.
What she just described is how modern women pick men of today. They go after the good-looking guy that has plenty of options. He does her dirty, and then she blames all men. This is why all their horror stories sound so similar, because it's the same dude.
That's what I call a chain reaction.
Manifest my own destiny. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the perfect recipe. May they remember me, my words will live on. I'm guided by your energy, your flame, hold it close to you. Check out my melodies. Is it the media that's been leading you? I'll show you a thing. Misdirection, what's the message? They don't want you to win.
As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.